Hey guys, I'm going to go through the 4.1 investigation, which is all about secret codes. Some of you commented that this is math class, not spelling class, so I sense that there was some frustration with this assignment. And so I want to just explain the purpose of this. So we're looking at functions right now. These are things that take something and then transform it into something else. Math class can seem really vague and unrelatable, and the purpose for using something like this is to see how math can be used everywhere. Like I commented in the check for understanding, there's a bunch of different ways that codes are used. Not just I don't know, creating a grid and having you make up random words, but debit cards, passwords, like sending medical information, anything on the internet, use codes. And so this is just an introduction to that kind of, to that study. That all being said, I'm going to walk through it with you guys because, like I said, it seemed like there's some confusion on it. And yeah, it's really, I think it looks kind of confusing, but it's pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. So first thing first is we have this table. So this table below shows that the letter A is coded into the letter Q, the letter B is coded into R, and so on. It also shows that the letter U is coded into the letter K. And this code is an example of a letter shift code, letter shift. So let's just go through and look at what they were saying. So they say A is coded into the letter Q. So up here in the first row, there's my original input. And that's just the regular alphabet, A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. Then the second row has our coded output. So I'm going to put in an A, and then the code changes that into Q. The letter B is coded into R, C into S, D into T, and so on. U into Q, all right, all the way down to Z. And they say it's a letter shift code. What they're saying is they're taking, you can see here in this second row, that this is still it's still in alphabetical order, but it just starts at Q. So I have Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, and then so on. So what this coded output did was it just shifted the alphabet over, okay? So this is our table, but we can also represent the code with a grid. And this is our grid where the input is along the horizontal axis. The output is on the y-axis, the vertical axis. So if I wanted to figure out what a coded letter was, I would go along here and let's say I wanted to code hi, H-I. So I'd go down to the H along the horizontal axis. Again, this is my original input. This is the word that I want to create. So I find H, and then I just follow that line all the way up to here until I find the red square. And then I go over, and so H coded would be X. And then I, again, I follow that all the way up. I coded would be Y. So if I wanted to write HI, if I wanted to write hi, that would be XY. XY. Okay? So I put a code down here. I put a code down here that I asked you guys to decode. So what you do for this, so these are my coded outputs. So I'd go along here and I find the Y. So I go up to Y and then over to the red cube and then all the way down, and I see that it's I. So I'm going to write I. And then this second word is B-E-L-U. So B is right here. I go over to the red cube and down. So that's L. L. And then E is here. Go over and it's O. Then for the L, I go up to L and then over. And my red cube is right there, which is at V. So V. And then U. So U is here, which looks like it's E. So I love something. And I'll let you guys figure out the rest. I also asked you here to use this coding grid to write a 1 or 2 message yourself. So you could write something else. Again, just think of one or 2 words, you know, math. And then all you have to do is along here, you go to the M and then follow it up and then follow it over. So that's C. And then A is here. So A is Q. Q. T would be J. H would be X. X. Okay? So C, Q, J, X. That is the code for math. Okay? So I want you guys to create a 1 or 2 word message using this code grid. Okay? All right, and then this next one, it's the same thing. It's just a different grid. And I wanted you to create a second 1 or 2 word message below. So let's try and do math again. So math. Math would code to, so again, I go along here, M. Aha, but now, okay, so it can code to C, but it could also be coded to T. You see that? So again, my input is on the horizontal, the output is on the vertical. So I follow the horizontal to the letter I want to code, which in this case is M, and then I follow this up to the red square. But in this code grid, there's 2 red squares for the inputs. So math could be coded to C or to T. Or T. Yeah, and then A only has 1 output. So A is coded to H. So H. And then T looks like it has 2 outputs. I have this one here, which is J. Aha, yeah. Well, I need to scroll down a little differently. Yeah. So T, again, can be coded to J and only J. Sometimes it helps. You could use like a ruler or a piece of paper to kind of follow along here. It can get a little confusing. So J, so T codes to J, and then H just codes to O. To O. Yes, to O. Oops, not 0, O. So either one of those would be the coded word for math. And there's reason behind why there's two different options. And this is to help you get thinking about what a function is. So again, now it's asking us in step 3, how is the second grid, this one, how is it different than the grid in step 1? And the difference, again, is some of the inputs in this second grid have multiple outputs. So some of them had just 1, but a lot of them have 2 different outputs. So in here, the second grid is different because some of the input values have multiple output values. And it's saying code the word function to help you answer the question. So if we code the word function, I'd get F, codes to M, U will code to K, oops, not L, K, N codes to D, but it also codes to U, so D, or I could have MKU, okay, and then C codes to J, T will code to J, how does that work? C codes to J, C codes to J, and T also codes to J. So this is not working out so well. I will code to P. O will code to E, or it codes to V. So O or V. And then N codes to D or to U. D or U. So I hope that helps reiterate the fact that inputs can have more than one output. Inputs can have more than one output in this second grid. And that makes it really difficult to code, because now when I go to uncode this, I'm probably not going to get function as my answer. So think about it like if you needed to send a secret message to someone, if your code doesn't work, then you know you can't really send a message. So or again, like I'm just going to give an example of, so I used to work in biotechnology. I used to work with like medical researchers, and we would ship different kinds of tissue samples all over the world. So like different types of brain tumors and blood samples and skin samples and all kinds of stuff. And because of different privacy laws, we can't send, like I can't say that this I don't know, lung cancer tumor came from John Doe. I can't say that, because that would be infringing on John Doe's privacy. So I have to say it comes from donor number 13542. But then that number has to be recoded on the other end so every single piece is like, they call it double blinded. So it needs to be coded once and then coded again. However, if I had, if I named him, I don't even remember the number I just chose, but if I named him, 73425, and that was John Doe, but then I used 73425 for also Mary Ellen Parks, then both of those numbers would be mapped to two different people. So if I told someone this sample came from 73425, they wouldn't, it would be from two different separate people. So that's the importance of functions and the importance of having this coding set up the way that it is, so that each input has only one output. That's the purpose of this assignment. I wasn't trying to make your life miserable with making secret codes. So let's see, let's get back to this because I just went off on a tangent. So step 4, which grid makes it easier to decode messages? Which coded output letters are difficult to decode into their original input letters? So again, this second grid is much more difficult to use for coding because the inputs have multiple output values. So it makes it hard to decode on the other end. So because there's two options for some of the letters, right? So if you had some trouble with this, I hope this video was helpful in kind of clearing some stuff up. If you have any questions, as always, please reach out. I'm here to help. All right. Hope you guys are having a good day.